Hey, good morning, Master Traders. Greg here. Before we take a look at the broader markets, I'm going to take a look at this potential buy setup in gold. This is a setup where, the majority of the time we'd be looking to buy this. It's in an uptrend, right? Rising 20, rising 50. The 20 is beginning to rise, which tells us that it's coming out of a base, and this move is just beginning to start. And here you can see it on the weekly time frame, and here you can see the base and the initial move that started. Very nice and strong. And here's the first pullback. This was a sideways correction with a nice bottoming tail that was a breakdown failure. So great, breakout type of setup, a correcting sideways. This is a correction through time, where this is a correction through price, which is okay, which is within an uptrend. This is the stronger, but this is still okay within an uptrend to the 20 and to an area of price support. So you would buy that above this bar's high. Ideally, it gets another bar down here, which builds a little bit of a base on the intraday time frame, and then you're off back again, making new highs. However, in this situation, you have prices right up against resistance here. So this type of a pullback buy setup to the rising 20, which normally is one we would buy, understanding multiple time frames will tell you that it's a lower odds setup. So point being, you can have the same setup in one time frame, and it takes off and works out extremely well. It looks the same as the other, and then this one potentially fizzles out. Why? Because you need other concepts besides just one, in this case a multiple time frame analysis that says, hey, you're up against this resistance area where prices couldn't get through before. They had a big decline. There's going to be sellers there again. So this pullback on the weekly is probably not going to be a red bar ignored. It's going to be choppy. And red bar ignored would be, it closes and then the next bar is right back up, and you're going back up. That typically happens when there's a void, not at resistance. Okay, so hope that helps. Markets here, S&P's down a little bit, waiting for that to fill in, sitting on some support, so chopping around here. So it looks like maybe a little bit of a consolidation here. They're making a new high. We'll see how far it pulls back. Nasdaq, the same, just chopping around here, retesting that topping tail. It needs to get going. Well, today is... lose track of days with this hurricane. Having gotten back home a day or so ago, running from that. Today's Thursday, so we got another day here. So if today does turn out to be a down day, right? You do get down days within an uptrend. You'd want to see a reversal tomorrow, Friday, Monday at the latest. You'd want to see this red bar, if it closes that way, to be ignored and then reversing back up again. What you don't want to see is prices pulling all the way back down to this little support level here. Since they rested here and then came back up to the resistance, you want to see it go sideways at resistance, not pull back to support again. You've got the weekly time frame on its side, so ideally a little sideways price action, or maybe today turns out to be a bottoming tail and you're back off to the races. But right now, a little weakness down to support. We'll see if buyers want to step up. We looked at the S&Ps. We looked at gold. Oil is up here today, but coming up into some resistance. Overall, weekly is rather choppy, but you do have a bottoming pattern going on here. So I want to look at the monthly, because it's really not that clear to me yet. And the monthly looks interesting. Right? You had this break to the downside, up to resistance, pull back to support, and now it's stabilizing again. So it's got work to do here. So we'll have to continue to monitor that. Let's take a look at, I want to take a look at XLE, because that's kind of got a lot of attention lately because of the news that it's on the move, of course. I wrote a little article on that. If you want to go to the mastertrader.com and look under the chart of the week, it's a free article. I learned something about trend line use and retracements and such on. So it's up here a little bit today, but it's coming right up into this resistance area. The worst time to think about buying this at the moment. However, there are stocks within the sector that are just getting started, and we covered a whole bunch of those in our newsletter last night, different plays in those. You can get a trial to the newsletter there for $7. Go to mastertrader.com. You will learn a tremendous amount, as well as getting profitable trades. And I wanted to take a look at Apple. You know, all the news of the new phones coming out and it's chopping around here. You know, so if you're a holder of Apple or a buyer, you know, have been a buyer, you just hold on to it and see what it's going to do here. Could be a good time, you know, maybe selling just based on this pattern, an out of the money call, a covered call. See if there's premium there, if you're a long-term holder. Baba, right there. CEO is unloading 16 million shares. Why not? Look at the beautiful run it's had. Who wouldn't want to be unloading some? Right? Very nice. So that's down a little bit here. Not a big deal within the, you know, this uptrend. Getting a little extended. Look at the distance from the 200. That's how we use moving averages. One of the ways. Just look. You have this railroad track effect, evenly spaced. The 20 and the 50 are rising here, but then we look at distance from price to the moving averages and moving averages from each other. So quite a long distance to that 200 MA. It's a bit extended here. Could get more extended, but when you get this far away, you typically go through at least a correction through time, maybe a pullback there. You know, the market's holding up well, so that's on its side. So just we'll keep an eye on that since it's one of the strongest stocks out there. Tesla down a titch here this morning. You know, they're coming out with news of now an SUV. You know, so more good progress there for Tesla, but it's been chopping around lately and down a little bit this morning. Here's an interesting one coming back, or possibly coming back from the dead, is Fitbit. Had a nice day yesterday after pulling back to the breakout area. You know, it's going sideways here this morning, but look at the weekly. You know, it's got a nice rounding bottom here, so maybe that can get going. And let's see if there's anything else here that's moving here. Amazon actually down. Saw news that they're going to build a big warehouse in Mexico, and that just might get the attention of the president, since he doesn't like business going down to Mexico. So interesting there. It had a nice day yesterday breaking out. Looks like it can go higher, but down here a bit. Maybe it's a viable pullback in the morning here. We'll take a look and see what that does. And just looking if anything else of interest here that's moving pre-market. NVIDIA just chopping around here. It's backing down. You know, this is another one that's had just a tremendous run and certainly due for a rest. So we'll see what that does. All right, guys, time to get going. Have a great trading day, and we'll talk tomorrow.